Hi, everyone. This is Caroline with you, Thriving Abroad, the expat interviews, where I have an opportunity to go all over the globe and meet the most amazing people that you will ever hear or know about. And one of those people I'm so proud and so happy to share with you today. She lets me share a little bit of her story with you, Miss Natanya from the Bravo Life. And when you hear her story, you will truly be inspired. And by the way, congratulations, Natanya is a newlywed, so she's really living her best life. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
So I don't know where to begin. You were born in England,
Yeah, yeah, in London.
and then you grew up in the US.
So a little bit of everywhere. So both of my parents are born and raised in London, and I have a very adventurous mom who also is an expat. She lives in the south of France, and we kind of moved around a lot during my childhood. So I lived a couple years in Jamaica. We have some family there, so I spent a couple years of my childhood there, and then yes, primarily America, but California, Pennsylvania, Florida, and New York.
And you started traveling from a young age, so it was very natural for you to just go everywhere, right? It wasn't fearful like many people who start out as adults.
Yeah, travel was definitely a natural part. I would say moving to another country was not natural as an adult on your own. It's different when you're a kid and you're just following your mom. It's very different to kind of pick up and move as an adult to a new country, especially a non-English speaking country.
You moved to Paris and you spoke no French.
No, so I mean, I could say like, hi, how are you? Yes, please, thank you. And I could understand if they talked really, really slowly and like asked me a very simple question. But no, I could not say I speak French by any means.
Now, did you have a criteria for picking Paris?
Yeah.
A checklist?
So it was more so just somewhere I always loved, and I was always drawn to. So I spent some time visiting there as in my childhood, as well as I visited a couple times as an adult. And I just always said, one day I'm going to spend like a year living in Paris. It was just like a dream of mine. I had studied French in high school, but obviously you forget that, which is why I couldn't speak the language when I got there. But it was just this kind of dream to live in Paris, go walk outside the Eiffel Tower and do all of that. So I can't say there was a criteria. It was just a natural pull to Paris.
Well, I feel that dream is one of many millions of women have dreamt the same dream. You know, who wouldn't want to be in Paris looking at taking pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower, sitting at a cafe? And which brings me to my next question. How, there are many of us, and I like to focus on women because I feel, in my opinion, that women are more the risk takers when it comes to travel as a whole. And even if you're in a relationship, I feel like women do tend to be the ones to influence your partner more, on places to go and things. So what here I am, I'm sitting, at home, and I'm looking, and I'm an armchair traveler to Paris, and I'm looking at these beautiful pictures, but I'm fearful. I'm like, how could I afford to go to this beautiful place? I mean, it's the place of pictures, it's the place of movies, not for me to actually, pack a bag, buy a ticket, and go there. How do I overcome uh, those negative feelings?
Yeah, so I can't say the fear goes away. I mean, I was crying getting on the plane, getting off the plane. But had fear in 2 points. One, it was, yes, the fear of moving to Paris and not knowing anyone, not knowing what I was going to do there, how I was going to make money there. But also, I had created what society tells us is a successful life and career in America. So it was the fear of giving that up for something that was completely unknown and just like a random idea. So I was terrified on both ends of letting go of what I already had, but also like, what am I going to do there? Am I going to meet anyone there? Am I going to be able to make friends there? Am I going to hate it there? So both were terrifying. And I am a big proponent of, yes, you're afraid, but do it anyway, which sounds easier said than done. So what I kind of had the idea and finally said it out loud to someone, which is probably the first step of like putting something out into the universe, is actually go and tell someone else this thing that you're dreaming about, thinking about. And that person, their kind of reinforcement of, oh my gosh, that's amazing, you have to do it. I was like, I don't know, I can't do it, but it sparked the initial idea. So I started a Paris fund, and I just started putting any extra money I had at the end of the month, instead of eating out or doing all the things that we spend our money on, putting it into this bank account. But I still didn't believe I was going to really do anything. It was just like, maybe one day that'll serve something. And I also know from personal experience that once you start to go in a direction of what's something that's meant for you, what was once comfortable in your current life becomes uncomfortable. And so that's what happened to me, where my career that was once comfortable, I was having problems and roadblocks there. My just kind of day-to-day life that was once super comfortable and easy, different things started coming up, which for me is a sign that it's kind of pushing you and nudging you to where you ultimately need to go. And so it really was just ripping off the Band-Aid. And I literally, like, terrified, just booked a one-way ticket. I picked a random date on the calendar. I said, we're doing this. Like, I figured out, okay, what's the minimum I would have to save to have enough expenses to support myself for at least 4 to 6 months in Paris. But I'm not talking about like eating out at restaurants and traveling in Europe. I literally mean like bare minimum, what would I need? And I tried to get as close to that number as I could. So that's what I did over those 6 months, where I went from like, I think I might do this, to actually leaving, was just saving. I stopped doing all the extras and put all of it into this Paris fund, so that at least I knew, okay, I at least have a little bit of cushion when I get there. I still need to figure something out very quickly, but I at least have a little bit of cushion. So that helped somewhat with the fear of, am I going to go broke day one? But there's still the fear of, I don't know anyone, I can't speak French. And so it really was literally just saying, I'm more afraid of wondering what if, like 10 years from now, and always wondering, oh, what if I would have moved to Paris, than trying and like hating it or failing and coming back and I'll be in exactly the same position I already am. So what do I really have to lose?
Wow, that's amazing. We have similar stories as far as our decision-making process went. Okay, you're in Paris, and besides your husband, what made you fall in love with Paris? You know, you're there for a few months, a year goes by. What was it about France? What was it about Paris that?
Yeah. So a few things. One, I think Paris is one of the most beautiful architecturally cities in the world. It's just somewhere you can walk and like stare at buildings in awe. And also I think the freedom of, because I gave myself that, 3 to 6 month window, I didn't immediately go into starting to, I've got to find a job, I've got to do all these things. I allowed myself to literally wake up when I wanted to, people watch, eat way too many croissants and bagels, all the things that, probably I wouldn't have been able to do if I immediately was jumping into a job. Not everyone can do that, but that's why I gave myself that runway to be able to put something aside, to have that freedom to spend my first couple months just people watching in the park. And there is an energy in Paris that for me was just magical. And I feel like, you can walk around and just watch people and eat and laugh and joy. And they have what they call the joie de vivre. And it's like the joy of living. And it's so present there, where came from a working environment where I was working 70, 80 hours a week. And to stop and see how people who even were working full time were so appreciative of time with friends and family, and just pausing and, going out for lunch, not sitting in the office, going and taking their lunch and having a picnic in the park, I think reignited something in myself, and also gave me the creativity to start my business and the space to do that. And also the language, while it's extremely difficult, is a beautiful language. So that helped as well. But yes, I did end up meeting my now husband 3 weeks after moving there. So I don't think that's a coincidence at all. So 3 weeks after I moved there, we met as well. And of course, that also gave me another perspective of seeing Paris from someone who had obviously grown up there.
Yeah, so more reasons to stay. So you gave up a corporate job, making decent money. A lot of people are probably sitting and saying, "Oh, well, that's easy for you to, to say. I just can't give up my job, or I can't, do this, or there's no way that that I could do that. How lucky are you?" What do you say to them?
Yeah, anyone can do anything with planning. So, right, my runway was 6 months. Yours might be a year. The time is going to pass you by anyway. So why not put that time towards what you actually want to do. But I don't believe that there's anything any of us can do. I didn't always have a job making great money. It's really, what are you willing to sacrifice? If we really looked at all the things that we waste time and money on, from Netflix subscription, Apple subscription, all the things, if you just put, even if it was $20 a week or whatever your number is, how much closer will you be a year from now than you are today, right? And so, it's not like you have to have the exact same timeline or story as I do or someone else does, but it is absolutely possible. It's really making a decision. And for me, a decision is, there is no plan B. I'm cutting off I'm committed to this plan. And I really believe that God, the universe, your family, friends, once you commit to that, people help you. And once you start to put it out there that this is your intention and people can see your passion, people want to help you.
Yes, and the help comes in the most unexpected ways.
Yeah.
That is so true. I have lived that. I live it every day. So there was, you're involved with helping women establish coaching business. You do a lot of things in the online space, which I wanted to talk about really quickly, but a lot of people that would like to try life abroad are always concerned about money. How do I make money? And not everyone wants to teach English, which is, a very common opportunity. And people are just afraid, and you have a business, a coaching business, or where you help people actually do that business. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started the Bravo life right before I moved to Paris. It was something that I always wanted to do, was create a platform to empower women to really step into their full potential. And as I was going through this personal journey of my own, I was like, okay, what am I waiting for? Like, we all think, well, I can't help anyone because, maybe I'm a hot mess. And it's just like, no, like, put it out there. And so having the space to do that by leaving the job that was taking up more of that time, I was able to start and grow the business, which now we do empowerment retreats. We also do, as you mentioned, business coaching for other coaches and consultants who want to empower or help people in different ways. And so the growth of that business, I mean, when I first started, it wasn't like I could be full-time in my business, right? You're not day one, just the money's coming in. And you're also a one-woman show. I was admin, sales, marketing, design,
the
all
whole
of it.
9 yards, yeah.
And so I also couldn't just rely on that. So while I didn't go to Paris and get a job, I did do consulting work, which is another thing that, not for everyone, but for some people, that's another option where you can, especially right now, we're all working online anyway.
Right.
There's so many online jobs. And even my first assistant that I hired is someone who I've never met her in person. I've only, like, you don't have to teach English. There's so many online opportunities with all different, levels of experience and things that you can do where you don't have to just look at, oh, I can only teach English, or I don't have a visa, so I can't get like a certain job in this country. There's just so many opportunities now. So one, yes, having this space allowed me to do some consulting work, which was kind of my transition, but then also build and grow this business that has become much bigger than whatever I thought it was going to be when I first bought the domain and started the Instagram. And it's been really exciting and also empowering for me to be able to be part of other women's journeys who are wanting to do purpose-driven work, wanting to step into something they're feeling passionate about. And, not all of my clients want to do it because they want to move abroad. Sometimes it's just, I'm ready to do something more meaningful and I want to have more freedom and flexibility and be able to spend time with my family and friends. So yeah, definitely, if I wouldn't have moved to Paris, I probably would still be in that one day I'm going to start a business thing. And so that definitely, as I said, that taking that one step is going to open up so many other opportunities that you can't even possibly imagine right now from where you're sitting. But literally, just when I say that one step, it doesn't even mean booking the ticket yet. It could just be you starting your Paris fund or your Italy fund or wherever it is that you want to go, and things just start to fall into place, where oftentimes we don't want to take the first step because we can't see the top of the staircase. But in taking the first step, that's how you see the next one and the next one and the next one. And if you're just sitting at the bottom and waiting, nothing's going to happen.
I of course, have been looking at a lot of your posts on Instagram, and there's one in particular that really struck me as so motivational, and I wanted to share it with everyone and just have you, I always ask everyone at the end, do you have any little bits of advice to give someone who might be sitting on the fence, who's struggling with, wanting to just change your life? And I love that you said, not maybe going abroad to live forever, maybe taking a sabbatical for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and return, do a reset, so to speak. But I love you said, always walk like you deserve to be right where you are. And that is so powerful as a woman, you just show up and just, fake it till you make it, and just be wherever you want to be, and don't let the fear stop you from enjoying life. But just a few words of advice as we wrap it up. What can you say to that, for those of us that are fearful?
Yeah, and I'm terrified every single day. So I always want to, I tell this to my clients as well. Like, I think there's this illusion that once you attain whatever your idea of success is and whatever it is that you want to pursue, oh, then I won't be afraid, and then I'll be more. And yes, sure, there's moments of confidence and excitement, but there's also moments of being terrified, because as you grow on that journey and make the leap to moving abroad or starting a new business or whatever it is that you want to do, the stakes get higher. So you're even having more fear. And so the fear doesn't go away. But what drives me is, one, knowing that fear is false evidence appearing real. And I'm either trying to predict the future that hasn't happened yet, or I'm reliving the past that's no longer here. And so if we stay present to what actually is, I also try to use fear of, what if I don't do it, and just sit here and wondering, what if 10 years from now? When I quit my job, my boss actually started getting emotional and crying, because she was like, I wish I would have done this at your age. I've always wanted to move to Paris. And like, that was my bigger fear, was I don't want to wonder 5, 10 years from now, when yes, of course, life is going to go on, and I'm sure I would have great moments, but I would always have had that, but what if I would have done that thing? So really looking at, honestly, 9 times out of 10, the thing that you're afraid of leaving is still going to be there when you get back. So if you try it and it doesn't work, guess what? You can get another job. You can get another, all the things that we're afraid of leaving. There's so much more on the other side that you won't even remember those things after the fact. And so I encourage you to let one, fear be a driving force, but also recognize it for what it is, and try to stay in that present moment and know we only get one of these, and the time is going to pass us regardless. And so you're never too young, you're never too old to reinvent, to decide to be someone else. And as you said from that Instagram post, like, I know a lot of, especially us women, we suffer from imposter syndrome. There's so many people that need and want to hear what you have to say, what you have to share, and staying small in this box, like, we're not only doing a disservice for ourselves, but for all the people that you can inspire by you taking your own big leap.
Yes, I love that. And I wanted to add what you said, because this is something that I preach a lot. Most women say, oh, well, what if I go and I decide to go back to the US or wherever I came from? Like you said, I mean, not only can you start over again, you can also just forget about the old job, or forget about what happened, forget it. You probably won't even care anymore.
Yeah. I have lot of expat friends who left and then came back, but they came back and were someone completely new. Like,
Yes.
now they're
Yes.
a pastry artist when they once were like a data
Sure.
analyst. And it's like, that creativity and that idea wouldn't have gotten sparked without taking that leap.
It is. It does do something to you. It changes you. Natanya, how can we connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm the Bravo Life on Instagram and Facebook. Please feel free to send me a DM. I love to say hello, definitely want to connect. And natanyabravo.com is my website. And hopefully, once we're all able to meet in person, we'll definitely have retreats and events. So would love to connect there as well.
That's great. Do you do retreats in Paris or?
No, we've done them in the south of France, Italy, and Mexico. So we try to go to different countries and have women who arrive as strangers and leave as friends, but in these new environments with new cultures and experiences.
Natanya, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story with us. All the best in your new life, your brand new
Thank
life
you.
as a Mrs. And we wish you the best. And hopefully, someone will be touched and will reach out to you to start their new journey in whatever shape or form that may be. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Lots of
thank you. It
blessings.
was a pleasure.